So you're thinking of booking a suite on board Royal Caribbean's Quantum of the Seas, or any quantum-sized ship, to be fair. They're all very similar. Hi, I'm Kate if you're new, and we are certified cruise addicts, and we're lucky enough to secure a Sky Class suite aboard Royal Caribbean's Quantum of the Seas. We did a trans-Pacific cruise, 2 weeks from Seattle over to Japan. It went around several ports around Japan. You can see that all in the Japan playlist if you're interested. And I wanted to share today everything we experienced as part of the suite life on the ship, and then you can make your mind up as to whether you think it's worth it. So to kick off this journey, we spent 2 nights in Seattle beforehand. I will link the Seattle video here in the description. From the hotel that we stayed at, the Mayflower, we were able to get a $15 shuttle, a minibus, to take us to the pier, so we availed of that. Check-in was simple. We were at 10 o'clock check-in, so that was fantastic. And it was about this point here where I left my bag, so we had to go back again, and here we are back again. So we're about to get on the ship. Here's me looking like nothing's happened. This feeling when you step foot on the deck, it's just the best, isn't it? Now I'm testing out an Insta360 here. I am not getting on with it. It's very wobbly. The settings, I must have something wrong in the settings, so forgive this first few minutes. I do switch to the phone, but one thing to bear in mind here, which is why I wanted to show you, is as soon as you get on the ship, they make you go to your muster station, and you know, just get it done. You just don't want to be that person that they're calling out on the tannoy a bit later in the day, getting a bit annoyed, you know. So get it done first. Ours was down outside the restaurant. So we did that, albeit accidentally stood in the queue for the maitre d' to change tables for a couple of minutes before we realised there was a separate queue. Here's a quick peek of the pool. It's an outdoor pool, but it does have a retractable roof. This ship is used predominantly in Alaska in the cooler climates, so it makes sense to have more indoor pools than outdoor. 5 o'clock somewhere, right? Here's Jim with his favourite lava flow, a rum-based frozen cocktail, quite delicious. Just after sail away, we were invited to our first event. I think actually this is a Crown and Anchor event for anybody diamond and above, set in the solarium, and it really does help to showcase what a beautiful space this is aboard the ship. It's fully enclosed, the temperature is just right, there are mini pools. It's a great space to chill, and it's adults only if that matters to you. So as we cruised into our first evening, it was time to check out the suite lounge. Wow, this lounge goes across the whole width of the ship at the aft. Here's my husband just messing as usual, and this just gives you an idea of the kind of canapes that you can expect on an evening basis. Some petit fours there. And not to mention, obviously, between 5 and 8, you can pretty much have any drink you like. So we used to avail of a couple of gin and tonics of an evening before we went to dine. The area is very comfortable. You can go there any time of the day to get a cookie, fill your boots with the coffee machine, and generally relax with peace and quiet. The concierge is in there, and goodness me, they can't do enough for you. Royally treated is certainly what it was. There's some breakfast offerings there. It was nice to chat with fellow cruisers. We did pop into the Crown Lounge one day to have a look in there, but I didn't take any video or photos. It was packed. I think this happens quite a lot on long cruises. You will find that during happy hour, no diamond passengers were allowed in the Crown Lounge on this cruise because there were way too many Diamond Plus and Pinnacles. I just can't see any way around this. They're going to have to rethink the whole system.
What we get up to here. Don't tell them that, don't tell them. A bit slower. And I can make it red, and if I wanted it to be a mix of colors, I can make it pink. Yes, those are called follow spots. They're gun-mounted turrets with chairs behind it, and those are actually 2 lights in this room that I have.
Very cool.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. Another of the backstage events that we attended was a bridge tour. We've never done this before and it was fascinating. This is open to suite guests and I think Diamond and above, as long as it's a cruise that's over 5 nights. Sweet perk that I've been looking forward to is having a bath. That's if the water stays in the tub. And then the ship starts to sway. Got my cup of tea. So here we go up to the suite sundeck. It's located just off the seaplex. I'm not sure this is the best suite deck I've seen. Not personally seen, but what you see on the internet from other ships. Yeah, just have a look for yourself. Because of the nature of a trans-Pacific cruise, there are not many sea days that you get that are actually worthwhile being out on deck. We're travelling currently down the east coast of Japan and it's a beautiful day. It's small. Turn it around, try not to get anybody in it. Just have a quick look round. So it overlooks the North Star over there, which is, I don't know if I've mentioned before, is out of service at the moment. And then it overlooks the outdoor pool and sky bar. And then you have these little cabanas that you can tuck yourself away inside. I'll go around the other side now, but I won't film as there are people in their bathing costumes. It's about 5 or 6 little beds. There's a shower up here. These lounge chairs are exactly the same as the ones by the pool, so not even a cushion to be seen here. I think I'd expect something more than that, especially if I was paying tens of thousands of pounds, which most suite guests do pay. Another suite perk we were really grateful for was being escorted off the ship first thing. You were given a meeting place, normally the music hall, and then somebody would take you down a separate set of stairs and get you off the ship quicker. We ended up going off with some of the crew one day and can help if there's going to be a queue for a shuttle. A nice thing to have. It may not have escaped your notice that we haven't discussed food yet, in particular Coastal Kitchen, which is situated next to the Windjammer. This was such a highlight of the cruise for us. We had the same waiter each evening, a fantastic menu selection. I am not going to go into it all here. I'm going to do a separate video for all of you foodies out there, showing you menus and all of the delicious foods that we tried. 2 words: pretzel rolls. Oh my goodness. And so to the cabin. So comfortable, so roomy, so much space. This place sleeps 8 people. I'm going to link to the separate video I've done that goes into in-depth tour of the cabin if you're interested. Lo and behold, I've just found the lost footage of the balcony tour, so have a look at this now. Yeah, absolutely, this is perfect timing. So we've got 2 lounge chairs here with footstools. There's a table here with 4 chairs that you could dine off. Also with the suite, you can dine off the main dining room menu and have that delivered to your stateroom if you wanted to. And then just off to the side here, we've got 2 lounges. That would be beautiful with that sunset, just to slide down there and have a drink. Imagine you're in the Caribbean with that. We're in Japan at the moment and it has been stunning today. 18 degrees, middle of October, absolutely fantastic. I can't tell you how good it was to have a bathroom for each of us. To each have your own bathroom is unheard of for cruising. Okay, so to the price we paid for this cruise. Just a little background explainer here. Here's how I think this happened. The cruise was originally going from Vancouver down to Australia, I believe, but that cruise had to be cancelled because the ship needed to get to Singapore to go into dry dock. The North Star wasn't working, you know, I think there was a few things that needed repairing. Not that that took away from any of the cruise at all. So that was cancelled, and then they just decided to redesign those next few weeks with leaving Seattle, going around Japan. Some passengers were lucky enough to stay on for the next week and a half, I think, that did a few more stops in Japan, and then Vietnam, Malaysia, I think, maybe Thailand, and then ended up in Singapore for its dry dock. So what I think happened was that I happened to go, I do go on it regularly, I happened to go on the Royal Caribbean website and I just looked for a 12-night cruise, 12 nights and above, and this popped up. All categories were really inexpensive. We would normally go for a balcony, junior suite at the most. But I happened to look in the suite section and spotted that they did a 2-bedroom, which was perfect because our son was going to come with us. He would have been 22 at the time, so it would just been nice to give him his own bedroom. And when we spotted that there were 4 2-bedroom suites on board that were in the Sky class, which means unlimited, coastal kitchen, and the suite lounge. Let me tell you how much it was. I've written it down because I could never remember. The first 2 passengers paid $1,697 each. The third passenger was $484, so a grand total of $3,193. That works out at £76 per day per person. For the actual full-blown suite, the only thing you could get extra would be a genie. As it turns out, poor old Kieran couldn't come. He secured himself a job in Hong Kong, which is fabulous, but it meant he couldn't travel with us, so we had a 2-bedroom suite to ourselves. So after we broke it all down to 2-passenger, removed his taxes, we ended up paying £3,060 for the 2 of us. So it's £1,500 each for 2 weeks in a royal suite. That cabin can go upwards 25 grand. So would we pay 20? No, we wouldn't. But it was so lovely to have that experience. The concierge in the suite lounge was the sweetest lady. She would do anything for you. The fact that you get an email the week before to ask if there's anything you need. The only thing I asked for was an extra mattress topper because I suffer with lower back pain, and we asked for a 7 o'clock reservation each night in the coastal kitchen, not knowing whether we would want to go in there every night. Or we did, breakfast, lunch, dinner. I think one lunchtime we went into Chops for a burger, but the rest of the time, coastal kitchen, honestly, I know you hear mixed reviews. You hear mixed reviews on everything because not everything pleases everybody. I think when you get a bargain like this, we didn't care. It was just, we were just, I've never felt so lucky in all my life. So it was, that experience was everything. It really, really was everything for us. So if you're interested in any other kind of cabins, in 2 weeks' time we are aboard the Allure of the Seas, sailing out of Miami to Barcelona. And I went with a guarantee balcony that I was going to be either over the boardwalk or Central Park. We've got over the boardwalk. Thankfully, I think Playmakers is not right underneath us. I don't think there's a Playmakers on it yet because, again, we've picked a cruise that's going into dry dock afterwards, and it's a connecting cabin. Oh, and I've just heard so many horror stories about that, with noise from the neighbours. Whatever, I'm just happy to be cruising, so follow along if you want to see how that goes. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video today. I hope it's given you some fantastic insight into suite life and whether you want to go for that extra splurge. It's a treat. It really is a treat for us anyway. So we'll see you again, hopefully. Take care. Very similar. What's this? Are you looking?